Hello everybody, my name is Hannah and this is Pepper and Pine, and today I want to talk to you a little bit about our homeschool schedule for kindergarten. Okay, so this is just scratch paper from a composition book, and it just like in a page and a half, and I'll have pictures of this on my website so you can see the details of this, but I basically wrote out an entire week of, I guess, a curriculum or just, activities or schedule for kindergarten for this week. So let me tell you a little bit about what we have planned, and then I'll tell you a little bit about the problems that we encountered. So I have for Monday baking bread, which we did. We worked with the dough. The problem, I guess I'll just tell you the problem as I go through them. I did not buy flour this week. It wasn't on our shopping list because I still had some in the pantry, but we didn't have enough to make the dough something that the kids could work with their hands. It was too sticky of a dough, which is fine for baking bread and baking rolls, but when the kids want to actually work with the dough, it's a little bit easier if it's a bit of a drier dough, and I did not have any flour, and I'm not in that place in my life where I'm just going to run out to the grocery store and pick up the flour. I'm just going to do what we can with what I have and then put that onto, a shopping list or a to-do list on a separate day where I can kind of group a few different things together and then do it all at once. It just saves time and it's just a little bit easier for me. So we did bake bread, but we didn't work with the bread. And usually my kids love to spend like a half hour or 45 minutes rolling out the dough and turning it into shapes or adding cinnamon or just playing with it. But we didn't have the opportunity to do it today, but we certainly can do it later in the week. Then we rolled beeswax candles, and oh my gosh, that was so much fun. You can see them right behind me. That's something that's going to become, I'm sure, a tradition in our family. It was so much fun to do. We rolled 6 of them, so I did one as an example, and then my daughter, who's 5, did 3 of them, and then my son, who's 10, did 2 of them. Then we lit them, and it was a lot of good fun. It's fall, but I'm like, well, let's go outside and do some garden work, but it's fall, so if I plant seeds, anyway, I have the opposite of a green thumb, so they wouldn't grow even if it was springtime. But anyway. That was on the list for today, but we didn't get to it today, and that's okay. We'll do it on another day. Work on peg dolls. I put this, I think, multiple days because I wasn't sure when we're going to get to it, but we ended up getting to it today, and they are behind me, and I do not have videos on any of these, but if you want to see them up close, you can check them out on Instagram and on my website because we had a really good time doing them. My kids painted them first, and then I came back in and added the faces and then some of the little accessories and hats and things like that. Then my 5th grader was going to make either the wind car or the wooden boat. Now he's already made both of these at the beginning of the school year when we got those supplies in from A Child's Dream. Because I thought my 14-year-old would want to do a set too, but he's entered high school and there's like just a whole different vibe going on, and he's just not as interested in some of those things that he used to do when he was younger, and that's okay. So I have 2 sets, and my kindergartner is too young to do them on her own, so I was going to have my 5th grader, who's 10, do the other set, and I was going to have him do it on video so that I could show you guys, but we didn't get around to doing that today. Instead, we started work on the little treehouse suspension bridge little kit. And he started that project, but it ended up being a little bit too complicated for him, and so it's ready to go, but I'm gonna have to assist him more than I expected. Then we were gonna read some fairy tales, which my kids decided they didn't want to do, which is fine. And we were gonna work with some wax, some more beeswax. So we did the beeswax for the candles, and then we were going to do it as well just to mold different things. We did not get to that. And watercoloring either fall colors or pumpkin or anything that's just kind of fall inspired. Again, we didn't get to that, but I had that on multiple days this week. For Tuesday, so let me backtrack and explain. Like I wanted to break this down into a couple different categories. Something in the garden, something outdoors, something in the kitchen, something that you use your hands for, and something that I read to them. And for Tuesday, I have baking an apple pie and doing some window art using the kite paper that we picked up earlier this year, and I believe we had it last year as well. We were going to do an apple or a pumpkin, and we've done this before. We did this during the summer where we did a crescent moon window art, and you can check that out as well if you want to see how we did that. This time we're either going to do a pumpkin or an apple, and the only thing I need to do for that is to print out a template so that my kids have something to follow, or I can just draw it out because that's pretty simple too. I have garden work again for tomorrow, and garden work doesn't always have to just mean planting seeds. We have some things in there that have been growing for a while that we can see if they're like bugs have devoured them, or I think I saw like one red tomato, so that's gonna be fun for them to pick. We can also work on our compost pile, which we've been composting a lot for the past year. And just some other random things. Water the plants so they don't die, because we're pretty terrible at doing that. So, you know, that might be something about being able to grow plants, is to make sure they're watered. So I've got working on peg dolls. Since we worked on peg dolls today, you would think that they wouldn't want to work on them again tomorrow, but the way it works in my family is once we get started on something, it's pretty motivating to do it again, and we get excited, and so I'm guessing my kids are going to want to work on this again tomorrow. Now what we did today was my daughter had gone through the book and picked out a few of the peg dolls that she wanted to work on, and she then marked the other pages that she wanted to do, and so the chances are we're going to be working on that again tomorrow to get to some of those other peg dolls that she wanted. Read a fairy tale, which I'm thinking my kids aren't going to really want to sit down and do that kind of stuff. They're going to want to do stuff and not listen, so we'll see. And then watercolor an apple. Wednesday, we have a co-op with other children. And that I just blocked out a big chunk of time to do that. And if we get to other things during the day, that's great. Normally in a regular school week, we would have to either do some stuff in the morning before we go, or in the afternoon, or do a little extra on Tuesday or Thursday in order to make room for that on Wednesday. And I also have making couscous, and you can see a video on how we make that. That's a really great fall recipe, and we're going to be making that on Wednesday. We also have a couple of geology projects that we didn't quite get to finishing from the 6 weeks that we did our geology, so we can also tack that on to Wednesday in the afternoon if we get a chance. Since they're hands-on activities, they don't require a lot of head work, they're more like hand work, and so we might do that Wednesday afternoon. Through this, don't worry. Thursday again, read a fairy tale, which my kids are probably not going to want to do. Sew a crayon holder. I have a video on this as well, but I'm making a new one, a different one for my daughter, and so that I'll have a video on that as well when it's done, and I blocked out a little time on Thursday to do that. And then drawing with the crayons. Since we're going to be doing some watercoloring earlier on the week, I thought it would be nice to work with our beeswax crayons, which are just, they're a lot of fun to work with, especially the block crayons, which I think are really great for boys because they can't snap them and break them. And then I've got working on peg dolls. I put it on, I think, almost every day this week because I didn't know when we were going to get to it. And then we have making caramel apples, and I really wanted to make my caramel from scratch, and so, you know, fingers crossed, let's see if I can do it. And then I have my 5th grader working on either the wind car or the boat or the bridge, the Capilano Bridge treehouse thing. So hopefully by the end of the week we should have 3 of those projects done that he can do. And then something else I've got scheduled for Thursday, which I'm really excited about, is to melt down all of our old candles and see if we can make a new one. These are all beeswax candles. Most of them, or all of them I think, are from achildsdream.com, and I'm really excited to melt them down because finally I got one of those pots to for making candles. And then making a rag doll. I'm really excited about this. My daughter made this last week in her co-op, and they turned out super cute. You can check out the pictures on my website. And we're going to be making them again so that I can do a tutorial to share with you guys. And on Friday, I have Nature Day at the park. Felting pumpkins. I'm not sure if we'll be able to get to it, and plus felting is not a kindergarten activity, so we may or may not do it because you use a really sharp needle. Okay, that is our kindergarten schedule for this week. There'll be a lot of videos on the actual projects that we're doing to follow. If you have any questions about how we're going about doing it, please let me know in the comment section below. And I am really excited about being able to block off a little bit of time to do this, and I'm thinking that we're probably going to have to do this every 4 to 6 weeks because my poor daughter is just not getting enough one-on-one attention while we're busy homeschooling the boys, and so this is a really great way to just kind of break from the regular schedule and do something that is enjoyable for all. All right, thanks for watching.